never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Fine.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. It's a Monday, and this whole entire week should be a national holiday for everybody. All the working people should get the whole week off and get paid for it because of my birthday being this week. But unfortunately, it's not. So on to today's video. Today we're going to do a Braves review from last week. We're going to talk some about the NASCAR race from last night. And there was a college football coach from a smaller school that recently announced his retirement, which of course comes at a strange time because the football season is right around the corner. But I will tell you why he's retiring now coming up here in a few minutes. But first, let's talk about the Braves. They had a okay week, not a great week. They played 7 games last week. They took 3 out of 4 from the Giants, but then lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. So they went 4-3 last week. They're now 19-5 in the month of June, and they are 42-32 this year. And if you watch the channel, you know that I mentioned last week that I was going to the Braves game on Friday night with some church members, and we went. And my pastor asked me on Friday on the way up there if I thought the Braves would win. I said, well, they might win tonight, but they'll lose the series. And sure enough, they lost the series. And I said that because the Dodgers are the best regular season team in baseball. But then they get to the playoffs and they fall apart. So had this series been a playoff series, since the Braves beat the Dodgers last year in the playoffs, I may have said the Braves will win the series. But since it's a regular season, I said the Dodgers would win it, and they did. It looked like I was going to be wrong. Last night's game was the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball Game of the Week, and the Braves were up 2-0 going to the ninth, and former Dodgers closer, who is now the Braves closer, Kenley Jansen, blew his 4th save of the year. And I know that I said before the season started that I predicted by the All-Star break he would lose his closing job. And having 4 blown saves, and it's not even the halfway point of the season, that's not very good. I was hoping he wouldn't pitch last night because he looked dominant against the Dodgers on Saturday night. And I knew that as familiar as the Dodgers were with him, as dominant as he was Saturday night, I knew that if he pitched last night, it wouldn't be the same. But he actually got the first 2 outs pretty easy and then just fell apart. So it went 2-2 to the 10th, and then both teams got a run in the 10th. Then the Dodgers got 2 in the 11th. They win the game 5-3, win the series 2-1. The Braves are now an even 5 games behind the Mets. No game tonight. They will use the off night and then come back tomorrow night. Play 3 with the Phillies Tuesday through Thursday, and then the Reds this weekend, and of course the Phillies do not have Bryce Harper, which I'm glad because he's an amazing baseball player, but I cannot stand Bryce Harper, so now I know I ain't got to see him, but more than likely the Phillies will be fine without him, with all that offense they've got. We will wait and see how that turns out. I believe the Phillies will be fine without him. To me, the best two teams in baseball right now are the Braves and the Yankees. The Braves have a decision to make coming up very soon because Eddie Rosario has just started his rehab assignment, and Adam Duvall is just flat out not hitting. It's the last week of June, and you're hitting 198, and that is absolutely pitiful. So what the Braves should do, since Guillermo Heredia also cannot hit, is just release Heredia and put Duvall on the bench, and then let Rosario be the everyday left fielder. But Heredia is fine being a bench player, and I don't think Duvall will like being a bench player, so we'll see if they end up trying to trade him. We know they traded him a couple of years ago, and then he turned it on, and the Braves brought him back. We'll see if that happens again. But again, the Braves last week go 4-3. They're now 19-5 in the month of June, 42-32 on the year, 5 games behind the Mets. They also have another decision to make coming up in about a month because supposedly Mike Soroka will be back towards the end of July. Now, I would put him in the bullpen because Mike Soroka has proven that he just cannot stay healthy. And the Braves rotation has gotten better as the year has progressed, and I wouldn't mess it up by putting Soroka in the rotation and taking one of the guys out of the rotation and putting him in the bullpen, and then a month later, Soroka winds up getting hurt again, but more than likely he will go into the rotation, and either Ian Anderson or Spencer Strider will go into the bullpen. We'll see where that goes. But on to the NASCAR race from last night. It was a long race, but not because of the length of the race, because of the weather. They ran about 35 or 40 laps, and then they had a lightning delay, and then they got back at it, and then at lap 139, they had a lightning/rain delay, and the race started at 5:10 Eastern Time, and it ended about 11:55 last night, so an extremely long race, but it was because of the weather, not because of the length of the actual race. But Chase Elliott wins his second race of the season. Kurt Busch, second. Ryan Blaney, third. Kyle Larson, fourth. Ross Chastain, fifth. Denny Hamlin, sixth. Austin Cindric, seventh. Christopher Bell, eighth. Joey Logano, ninth. And Kevin Harvick rounded out the top 10. And of course, they had their one and only off week of the season last week, so no more off weeks this year. So back in action this Sunday. Now, if you're a longtime NASCAR fan, you know that the July 4th weekend used to always be Saturday night at Daytona. That is no longer the case. They've changed that. Daytona, the second go around, is now later on in the season. This year, July 4th weekend will be at Road America, which of course is in Wisconsin, and that'll be a Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And now let's talk about the college football coach that retired quickly. I'm sure most people have heard by now, but there may be some that haven't because he doesn't coach a Power 5 school. But Bill Clark announced his resignation not too long ago, and it caught most people by surprise because he has been their coach for a long time, but he's only 53 years old. He'll be 54 tomorrow, so everybody knew that he's not retiring because of his age. But not long after he announced his retirement, they said he's having back issues. More than likely, he will have to have back surgery, so that is why he is stepping away. He may come back in a few years. We'll have to wait and see how the back surgery goes, if he does have that, and see how successful it is. But if you remember, the UAB football team actually shut down and claimed they were shutting down their football program back in December of 2014. Now, there's been a long rumor that Nick Saban was behind that. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I do know that Bill Clark came out and said he's not happy with it. I'm the coach here, and I am not satisfied with us just shutting down the football program. There's no need in it. There's no sense in it. We're going to have football. So they shut down in December of 2014, and then in June of 2015, they announced they were bringing back their football team. So they were not shut down that long. But now, like I said, the rumor is Nick Saban was behind that, trying to shut it down so that all the people that gave money to the UAB football program could give their money to Alabama. How much truth there is to that, I don't know, but that's been the rumor ever since they shut their football team down for a few months back a few years ago. Any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Did you hear about the world's greatest watch thief? He stole all the time. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.